Good afternoon. My name is Kevari Francis, and I'll be assuming the role of the supervisor today. I'll be training my 3 new employees for the position of the data entry clerk. Before we get into the main points of this presentation, let us define a few key terms. First of all, data entry, as defined by dictionary.com, is the job of entering text or other data into a computer by typing on a keyboard or scanning. Another key term that we must define before we begin is what is a database. TechFact.com describes a database as a structured collection of records or data that is stored. To outline what we'll be covering today in the training session, the 3 main points are how to create and enter an item into a database, how to search for various items in a database, and how to delete an item. Welcome to the data entry workshop. Today we'll be learning how to interact with the company's database. Fun.com states that data entry is the entering of information electronically by using word processing. So to commence the training, we'll begin by creating and entering a new item into the database. The first field of the database is the item number. This is automatically generated for us, so we can bypass this. The next field is the name of the item. So for our example, we're going to be using Coca-Cola. Does everyone have that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. The next field is the item description, and this will just give a brief idea of what the next field that we're going to enter data into is the category, and for ours we're going to use drinks. And the last field, and this is a very important field in the database, is the quantity. So for our example, we're just going to put 10 of that specific item. The next interaction that we're going to be doing with the database is to search for an item. This is a very simple task, but it's also very important because you can have many different types of searches. You can have a very broad search to search for many different items at a time, or you can have a narrow search if you're looking for a specific item. So to search for an item, you can choose the key field that you want. The best way to search is by using the item number, because all of these are unique to each individual item. But you can search in the many various fields that we talked about earlier. So suppose you want to do a broad search and you're searching for all the items that are, the quantity is 0. So like if you need to restock, you can just search in that field for all the items that are equal. To demonstrate this search, I have a few test items in the database already. So if you all go into the item description field and just search Dasani, you should see that the item Dasani water comes up. Does everyone see that?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay, so I put in the description 1 item and 2 items popped up. I'm not sure to differentiate between the 2.
Oh, let me take a look and see. Okay, so to solve this problem, remember when in the beginning I told you that the item numbers are always unique, so instead of searching by the item description, you can do a search by the item number. The final interaction that we're going to have in the database is how to delete an item from the database. This is much simpler than the other first 2 tasks, but it can also be more sensitive because once you search for the item and then you delete it, if you delete the wrong item, then that can cause major defects. We're going to delete an item. Just search in the item name for Fanta, and then as you see there's a delete option, and just delete. And that's how you delete an item from the database. Once the item is deleted, well obviously it no longer exists, and if you by chance deleted something that you weren't supposed to, you'd have to go back over and create it all again. But this time it would have a different item number because the item numbers are automatically generated. But if you didn't take note of the quantity, then this could cause a lot of problems, because then you'd have to go to the stock and do a physical count to get to know what the quantity is again. So now that we've completed the training workshop, we'll briefly go over the 3 main points that we covered today. The first thing was creating and entering an item into the database. We do this by entering data into the various fields. The various fields that we have at our company are the item number, which is automatically generated for us. Then we have the item name, the item description, the category. So the thing that we learned today is how to search for an item. This was probably the most simple. We just choose a field that we want to search for the item in, and we enter the key word for that item, and a search result will come up with all the valid property of the products. The final interaction that we covered with the database today is how to delete an item. This was a simple task, but we saw that it could be very harmful if we accidentally deleted the wrong item from the database. This would result in having to physically recount the stock to get the appropriate information. Okay, so before we move on, does anyone have any questions?
I do.
Yes.
I deleted the wrong item by accident, but I can't find the previous item number for it.
Oh, well, remember the item numbers are automatically generated for us, so once you say that you need a new item number, you just have to enter the item description, the category, the item name, and the quantity. Now that we've come to the end of this work session, I'd like to thank my 3 new employees for taking the time out to come and get this training, and I wish you all the best.